stages 3 and 4. Hannes and Pierre are back to third, now 4 seconds behind Habich and Judd. Dabner and Hodgson are fourth, with Boerter and Jordan leading the two-wheel drive entry in 5th place overall.
It's been a bit of a different event because of the condition of the rallies. You know, the whole afternoons, like Hannes and myself changing position, and then he went, lost a minute and a half, so we're back in front again. So 2 more stages and then we'll have a regroup for tomorrow morning.
Two night stages follow the break, the first of which is a short dash through the streets of Umhlanga Rocks. The stage forms part of the Umhlanga Festival, and despite the constant rain, the locals line the streets, attracted by the noise and the lights.
100, 90 left, followed by hairpin right. 50 meters, 90 left, yeah. Hairpin right, hairpin left. Reverse left, followed by fork sweep left, tightens into, tight left, tight left, yeah. 100 meters, tight right, tight left.
Serge and Vito complete the 1 kilometer stage in a winning time of 53 seconds. Habich loses time and their second place to Grobler, who emerges 18 seconds ahead of the Gulf. The final stage of the day is a muddy run through the cane fields on the outskirts of Umhlanga. Habich again has a bad run through the mud and loses a further 2 minutes to Grobler and Aries, who end the day in a secure second place. Brady Dabner and Guy Hodgson move up to third place, 47 seconds ahead of the Gulf. Leon Boerter drowns his Class B Gulf, and the crew stand for 5 minutes in the stage before the car is able to continue. Day 2 starts on the bright side for Tony Ball and Marty Olivier, and it's not just the weather. They now hold a 3-minute lead in Class B. But it's the Class A leaders that start the second and final day, leading the 27 surviving crews down the south coast to stage 10 near Scottborough. We pick up Serge and Vito on stage 11, 6 kilometers in length and still very wet from the previous day's rain. Serge is able to increase his pace on these roads, which seem to have a firmer surface than the roads on the north coast. Behind them, Hannes presses on. His time's a second or so off the Toyota's pace. Dabner is on the same minute as Hannes, just seconds separate second from third. Habich and Judd press on slowly, sorting out problems with the new car as they arise. On stage 12, Serge and Vito miss a left fork, losing time in getting back on the route. Only about 20 seconds are lost to Grobler, but it's time that has been hard worked for, and the Toyota crew are unsettled. Their lead remains intact, just slightly reduced to a minute and a half. Further behind in Class B, Ball and Olivier continue almost unchallenged in their class. The Uno of Piazza Musso and Harding got stuck in stage 10, the first stage of the day, and had dropped back, 5 minutes behind the Gulf of Boerter and Jordan. But the never-say-die Leon Boerter steps up his pace, his mind set on the position now held by Ball and Olivier. Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley not only lead their class, but have placed themselves in 5th place overall behind the leading Class A cars. Just under 3 minutes behind them are the Natal crew of Trevor Graham and Peter Chadwick. Dani Nordia and Thilo van Westenhagen in the ex-Enzo Kuhn Class A Ford Laser. In 11th place overall, Johan Clements and Brian Duncan in the Class A two-wheel drive Toyota Conquest. The leaders prepare to start stage 14. The order remains the same, with Surgeon Vito able to recover some of the seconds lost on stage 12 with a good time on stage 13. Hollis and Pierre have maintained their lead over Dabner and Hodgson to a constant 1 minute. Brady has kept the pressure on Hollis, and one mistake could see a change of position in the top 3 placings. The Nissan suffers a flat tyre deep into stage 14, and the crew are forced to press on rather than stop and change the wheel. This slows the centre, and Brady Dabner closes the gap to just a few seconds. The sub-assembly is also badly damaged, and the service crew need time to weld the fracture. Time lost in servicing results in time lost on the scoreboard, and the tension rises in the Nissan crew. Dabner and Hodgson end the stage having gained a few seconds in their fight for second place. Only one stage remains before the mid-morning regroup. On to stage 15 and a look down the field to see what's happening in the lower classes. Lawrence and Paisley still lead in Class C and the two-wheel drive cars. They're well over a minute faster than Ball and Ulipier, who lead Class B, ahead of Buerta and the Uno. We join Trevor Graham and Peter Chadwick in their Class C Conquest, which currently holds 7th position overall.
There.
Hey, this way.
On the right,
that small mistake cost just seconds, but they pass the Tony Ball Marty Ulipier Golf with its front wheels hanging off a bridge, effectively putting the Class B car out of the running.
There we go. 3 right here.
I got caught out on a left-hander going onto a narrow bridge, and it was very, very slippery. I was the first two-wheel drive there. I tried the power, I tried the brakes, and nothing helped. We just slipped off the road with the front wheels dropping off. We were quite lucky. There were a couple of locals on the bank, but half a K away, they ran down to help us, and we pushed and lifted and jacked, etc., etc. We got back on the road, but we lost 35 minutes.
2 stages ago, we picked up a bit of a heat seize, damaged the rings. It's pushing out about 2.5 pints of oil on 16K, so I've got to just nurse it now. I've got a bit of a bump of about 2 minutes on Trevor, so if I just got to keep it there and not rev it more than 5, I've got a bit of time to spare, so we'll try and keep it together.
Surge has opened nearly 3 minutes on Hollis and Pierre, Dabner a further 1.5 minutes behind them. Class C is a 2-car race with Lawrence only a few minutes ahead of Graham, Lawrence having to back off the pace with a damaged engine. The skyline of Cliff Blackman and Kunla Buskachny is 6th overall. Dabner has been plagued with a misfire in the engine of his Conquest and needs the extra power if he's to catch the Nissan. His teammates, Surge and Vito, leave the regroup with a confident lead and just 4 stages remaining. The Bankfin Conquest continues to run rough, and the loss of power is evident in their stage times. Abich and Judd continue, obviously no threat to their fellow Class A competition. The Golf will need a lot of work and development before it's able to match the pace being set by the leading Class A cars. Running 4th on the road in stage 17, Hannes Grobler and Pierre Arries happy to keep their second place intact behind Surge and Vito. The Uno appears ahead of Buerta and Jordan on the road, the Volkswagen crew having to change a gearbox and take the penalties that will be added for lateness. Thus, in theory, the Uno now leads Class B. Also in an Uno are the Class D leaders, Viljoen and Johnston. Having done so well during the early part of the day, the Cliff Blackman skyline just slides to a stop on stage 17.
What do you think is the problem?
Clutch is packed up this last stage. Yeah. Well, we're going to carry on and battle through, see if we can get to the end.
Privateers battle on with little or no power to the wheels. But their rally ends just a few kilometers from the end of stage 17, the Skyline unable to move any further. We joined Surgeon Vito in their conquest on stage 19, the final stage of the Tour de Total rally. The Toyota crew have hardly faltered, and besides the problems in stage 4 on day 1, the crew have had a clean run. And Pierre have achieved what they set out to do, learning to work together as a crew and netting the second place points in the process. Serge is taking no chances, and the Toyota approaches the end of the final stage at an easy pace. The sight of the Toyota arriving at the control puts a smile on the face of Flip Wilken, who heads up the management side of the Toyota Motorsport team and is the first to shake the hands of the Toyota crew. The final results, with penalties added, leave no changes to the leading 4 Class A cars. Lawrence and Paisley win Class C, finishing 5th ahead of Graham and Chadwick. Paolo Piazza Musso and Cindy Harding took Class B, while Class D went to Viljoen and Johnston.
Yeah, it's a good start for the beginning of the season. After yesterday afternoon with the rain, I thought I'm going to have quite a hectic rally, but it all came right today. And winning the event 3rd time, it's one of my best events, so I enjoyed doing it.
Well, apart from the rally being very wet, it's been close to 5.5 months since our last event last year, and from a navigating point of view, it was a bit rusty in the beginning, and being that it was wet makes it even a bit more difficult. But Serge managed to get used to the wet very quickly, and really we had no major problems apart from last night. Today was a lovely day.
The Tour de Total rally